Welcome to the very first video edition of the podcast Masks, Mets, and Mayhem. I'm your host, Justin Harvey. You can find me on Twitter at JustinHarvey75. And this is just a welcome to us doing a video feed. Casey and Byron, our regular co-hosts, are not joining me today, but I figured I'd just give this a shot and just talk a little bit very briefly about what to expect. If you've been following the show before in its audio form, basically, we're a podcast with three hosts that talks about primarily Lucha Underground and UFC. But we also delve into lots of other stuff in the pro wrestling world, like WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, all sorts of stuff, indies, whatnot, AAA and CMLL, lots of cool wrestling stuff here. And Casey, the Lucha Gringo, is a wealth of knowledge about all sorts of wrestling stuff. And Byron's always got an interesting take on things. So if you've had fun listening to the podcast for that kind of stuff, we'll be doing that here as well. And basically, and we also talk a ton of UFC stuff, especially MMA, one of my favorite things in the world. In fact, very shortly here, I'm going to go watch the Tyron Woodley Robbie Lawler fight, which should be an absolute barn burner. I can't wait to see that fight. It's going to be good. And Rose Namajunas is on the card today too. Thug Rose is definitely one of my favorites, so that'll be exciting. We took a week off from our regular podcast. We decided to try to work out this video thing. It's pretty cool. We're using Google Hangouts. We should be able to have guests and all the hosts on at the same time. And if you're new to this format, what it does is it basically switches the video feeds between people and kind of lets us chat remotely, since the three hosts of the show will not really actually all be in Los Angeles at the same time this fall. So we figured we'd try something new out since Lucha Underground just finished taping last week. And please make sure you stay tuned to us, because they just announced that Lucha Underground is going to start airing in early September again for season 3. We were there for a ton of the tapings, and we're super excited to talk about some of the stuff that we can't really talk about yet because of spoilers. We all sign NDAs when we go in there, so you can't really talk about it. But all I can say is I think that people who weren't there are going to be flat out amazed. Some of the stuff coming in Lucha Underground season 3 is definitely the best televised wrestling stuff you'll ever see. And it's just a good show too. All the drama elements and the things that they put together to make it almost like an hour-long drama, like a Walking Dead or a Game of Thrones, all that stuff, none of us know. So I think that's going to make it if they can pair up some great stuff with the stuff we saw in ring and the storylines that are going on and some of the wrestling talent and the workers that came through in season 3, it should be nothing short of absolutely the most amazing television out there. Plus, they're doing 40 episodes. Craziness. 40 episodes, biggest season yet coming up. So that'll be in early September. We'll definitely be back for that. This summer, what we've got lined up, normally we do the show every week. We'll try to keep doing that. This past week, I was a little bit under the weather, and we're trying to work out some new technical stuff, what you're seeing here. And you'll be seeing all three of us doing this hopefully together soon as our schedules line up. But hopefully this summer we'll have some great guests, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that we've already seen in Lucha Underground that we really love. We kind of want to go back and revisit Ultima Lucha 1, maybe, and talk a little bit about some of the high spots in the first 2 seasons that we thought were really good. We don't have enough time to go through all of the old episodes from season 1 that we never covered on this show, because the break before Lucha comes back with new episodes is surprisingly very, very short, only barely a month away at this point. So hang in there for that stuff. Also, we got the McGregor Diaz fight coming up soon. Our friend Vinny Massaro is a NorCal guy, and I know he loves Diaz. I'm a bit of a Conor McGregor guy myself, so maybe you'll get us duking it out over that. I think Casey's also a Diaz guy, and maybe we can make Byron love MMA enough to have an opinion. We shall see. But we do have exciting stuff coming up. Hopefully a lot of big guests. And for those who are new to the show, stick with us. We like to have a lot of fun. We definitely cut it up a lot. And we always try to bring something exciting and different to the table, just some new information, new points of view, just to kind of add to the stuff that hopefully you're already enjoying and watching. We'll probably also talk some movies and stuff too. Casey's a big movie buff. Byron's into all sorts of cool stuff, and Byron and I both work in reality TV, so we have a slightly different skew on how we see things, and we see a lot of stuff from a production standpoint for some reason. Just can't take it out of us. So we like to have a lot of fun with that stuff. Hopefully, this will be a great way for people to enjoy what we do. And for people who have been listening to it as a audio podcast, we're still going to do that. Basically, this show will get turned into the RSS, the podcast feed, which you'll still be able to find on SoundCloud primarily. You can subscribe to it there. You can subscribe to it on iTunes. You can also find it on Blueberry and a few other places. And then you'll be able to subscribe to it here on YouTube. And this will be the first version. When we do it, we'll be doing it live now, so there won't be a whole lot of chopping it up and editing it if we're doing this way. Not that we do a lot of that anyway. From anyone who's listened to the show, you probably realize that, and they're probably like, gosh, they should have cut that down. But we don't. We just go for it and have fun and just say whatever's on our minds. We're not paid stooges in any fashion, so we tend to say what we like and we don't like, but we don't mistake that for the fact that we definitely do love Lucha Underground. We definitely do love UFC, even though I'm sure you'll hear us critique certain things that we don't like from time to time, and certain workers, performers, or athletes that we may or may not have an issue with, because why would you be watching it if we were just like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever? You can say that at home. You can wave a flag all day long, but we definitely have opinions and we definitely share them, and especially Casey. So hopefully we'll get Casey fired up about some stuff, because it's certainly entertaining for me and hopefully entertaining for you guys. So until we get the whole gang together, until we get the whole thing going, which will hopefully be later this week, just know that we haven't left you. We're coming back. We're coming back bigger and better with new things and new exciting stuff for you. So until next time, stay calm and stay in the mix.